BYkids has long envisioned a world in which children learn through stories and through dialogue with each other.
We are so grateful for the support of the host committee this evening and for all of you who have generously contributed in advance of this event, enabling us to bring our work to more classrooms and to more students.
Using storytelling to create understanding and our efforts to bring innovative teaching to teachers, parents, and kids around the world. Real change comes from engaging our kids in active and empathetic learning that allows them to grow into critical thinkers and engaged citizens. Using film as a way to teach about globally relevant issues and to allow students to find their own voice is Education 2.0. Films by kids share the stories of kids who confront immigration, bullying, juvenile justice, climate change, and child marriage. We reach kids in schools and home learning with films and teaching materials that promote empathy and understanding to make global issues feel personal, relevant, and actionable. Your support means that we can continue to produce documentary films by kids and partner with our wonderful partners, public television, educators, and online learning innovators to inspire conversations around issues of human dignity and social justice. Our partnerships include PBS Learning Media, public television, Discovery Education, and Pen Pal Schools that all help us reach 246 million viewers and students in 150 countries. BYkids is a passport to the world, delivered free on public television. As kids share these global stories, they learn to listen and celebrate differences as they are inspired to develop and use their own voice. That seems a worthy cornerstone of education.
I can't wait to see everybody else's documentaries, and thank you, BYkids, for this opportunity because it's really been a beautiful experience.
If we can use filmmaking at an artistic level as a way to tell stories, I hope that it inspires young people to find their own voice and be curious about stories around them.
Talking about authentic student voice and amplifying student voice.
As educators, we really have this opportunity to engage students at a moment when they see something, then they can actually care. And then that actually is something that then can help inspire them to act. For young people to see themselves on screen and also to just sort of develop this empathy through stories. So it's really going beyond the screen and into communities to see how our work and our films can serve as both a window to the world, but also as a catalyst for change.
See, care, act.
And some of the people that have created and affected change have done it because they have been able to effectively share stories and inspire others.
And there's something so powerful about stories to bridge that gap. It shifts people's perspectives, it helps them engage across difference, and it helps them sit in that learning edge and grow. Resparks that fire and helps build movements. It pushes you towards action. It helps us comprehend our own roles in really complex systems and leverages our own gifts to meet this moment. So as much as possible, I want every young person to believe that they are a problem solver. And I think that starts with us building that connection, centering youth voice and helping young people understand that their voice matters.
Who are you? Is your story being told? Is your voice there? Do you see other people like you in this world? Majority of them didn't feel represented. Just like these BYkids videos, there are people out there that's just like you, but you can't see them because you don't know where to look for them. And I love how Holly just brings these stories to light. So now these people can realize that they are represented.
Where do you think the BYkids media stands compared to so many things that are out there?
I think that young people also want to be heard by adults, and they want adults to see the lens with which they're seeing the world. And they want to have a seat at the table, as they say, about the decisions that are being made that are impacting their future. So I feel like Films by Kids is kind of unique in a lot of the content that we produce, and that it provides that window into what young people are experiencing and what they're seeing and what they're feeling. They have the best ideas about how to tackle these problems. And that's something I've always loved about Films by Kids and about Holly's vision too, is that like these are the young people are the ones who are going to be changing things. And so we need to start listening to them and empowering them.
So you start to see how stories and media and journalism and civic engagement come together in that way.
There are millions of stories that need to be told. There are millions of kids that want to be the one to tell it.
Tell us about a teacher that really inspired you.
She had to be the most inspirational individual I've ever met.
And there was a second grader named Shivani who drew the characteristic picture of world peace, the globe with a peace sign and people of different colors holding hands. And we asked her, how are you going to make this possible? And she looked at me like I was stupid. She was like, well, I'm just going to make sure everyone in my life is kind. The moment that we can take the wisdom of a 50-year-old, the wisdom of a 90-year-old, and match it with the energy and imagination of a second grader, we've won.
So many of these filmmakers are tackling really, really hard topics, right? But then they're sharing their stories and they're inspiring their own age group and they're inspiring us as well.
It was something that really cracked open a lot for me in terms of like what I understood about the world and what I, how I saw the world. And it was something that like really inspired me, but also it was something that just like, it just taught me so much about life.
We are going to do some stuff today that's really going to push and challenge you. Leadership activities, identity activities, engagement activities. But they don't realize that I've already begun the day with empathy by beginning with the BYkids films.
We had to really think outside the box and think how we could support our teachers, how we could support students.
So that's super important to us, and our school guides and our Take Action are all about trying to give kids both small and big ways to engage in these issues in a personal way to bring change.
And I think that's where films like BYkids make a difference. While independent learning is happening, when we invite people to the table and have them explore something that's uncomfortable, that's different, and have them understand that they're more alike than different, we see that transformation happen.
So thank you, BYkids, for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
So we've seen how BYkids hits exactly the right chords. They're giving into a window into someone else's life that they may or may not look like theirs. These films become a foundation for life learning, teaching actually the adults as well as the students, which is wonderful. Values such as empathy, human response to human tragedy, and hope for better futures are instilled with these stories. Please help us bring the next round of films to life by continuing to donate whatever you can this evening.
Thank you for your support. Please continue to join us in this journey, in the much needed work that BYkids does.